Alright, so I'm gonna build with coils of clay. So I've got a few coils I've already made to start out with. I've got a little plastic knife that I'm gonna use to shape the clay. You could use a craft stick or the end of a paintbrush or even an old toothbrush for this. And then I have a little bit of water. So to make my coils, I'm just gonna roll this out. I'm gonna make like a snake. So I'm rolling to get it round. And then as it starts to get longer, notice how I'm spreading my fingers apart as I roll. That helps keep it even so that it doesn't have really skinny parts and then thicker parts. If you kind of move your fingers apart like that while you're rolling, it spreads the clay out so that you have a nice even coil, pretty much. And see, now I'm getting like a little thinner part right there, so I'm gonna try to even that out. Alright, so when you're building with coils, to make the clay stick to itself, you want to get the clay a little bit rough, so that's what I'm using my knife here for. I'm like scratching it. It's called scratch and attach. It's also called score and slip. So you could even do that with your fingernail. You just want to get the surface rough. And then you want to get it just a little bit wet. Notice I'm just like barely dipping my finger in the water and getting this just a tiny bit wet. You do not want to get it soaking wet or it'll take forever for your clay to dry. Alright, and now that it's a little bit rough and a little bit wet, it's going to stay together. So I'm going to start building a little vase. And I'm going to start by just making a spiral. And then I'm going to start building up. So this is going to be the bottom of my vase, and I'm going to make it rounder as I go up. So I'm going to scratch up my clay, just barely get it a teeny bit wet. And then I'm going to keep adding as I go up. I think I'm going to add one more and then I'll stop so that this video is not too long, but you could keep building. You can make it really tall. You can make it go out and then come back in to make more of a like rounded bottom vase shape, or you can make it a cylinder. You can keep going straight up. I'm just going to add one more coil. You add as many as you want if you're building this way. Now, I think leaving it like this with the coils showing looks kind of cool. So I could do that if I want to, or I can smooth it together, either on the inside or on the outside. I'm going to smooth this part together where it's cracking. So let's say I'm going to smooth the inside together to make it a little bit sturdier. So I'm getting my finger just a teeny bit wet. This is where I could also use my knife to kind of smooth this together. So I'm just kind of erasing these lines on the inside, and then I'm smoothing it all out. So that's a choice. If you like the way the coils look when you can see them, you can keep them visible. If you like the way it looks better when it's smoothed together, you can smooth it out. So got coil on the outside, smooth on the inside.